Who doesn't love the excitement, the sights, the sounds, the energy of the Fremont Street experience? It's like nowhere else in the world, and it's about to get even better with what the Plaza just unveiled.
The intersection of Main and Fremont is where it all began for Las Vegas. We're going to go around the corner and back in time.
So get ready, because this adventure starts right now. Downtown Las Vegas is looking good these days. We are heading north on Main Street and can't help but admire the pretty shade trees lining the road, the clean sidewalks, and all the revitalization going on right here. Today, though, we want to step back into the past for just a minute and pay a visit to the corner where it all began, Fremont and Main. To the north of that famous intersection are Main Street Station and Sam Boyd's, California, two historic properties that were the subject of a recent video on our channel. And in the opposite direction, three more icons that we'll be visiting today. Circa at 8 and Fremont Street, the Golden Gate at number 1 Fremont, and across the street, the Plaza at number 1 Main. History records the founding of Las Vegas in 1905. That's when the San Pedro, Los Angeles, and Salt Lake Railroad built this Spanish-style train station. And the acreage that would become downtown Las Vegas was sold at auction. As the years went by and downtown grew, you still see that train station at the top of Fremont. By 1940, Union Pacific owned the rail line, and they replaced the depot with a modern version featuring comforts like, air conditioning. Now that building lasted all the way until 1970. Enter the Union Plaza Hotel in 1971. Exactly 2 years ago, we did a staycation here and told you the fascinating history of the plaza. By the time you watch this, the unveiling of their long-anticipated front facade makeover will have happened on June 10th, but we couldn't wait. We've seen renderings online for about a year, and now the transformation is almost complete. There are 4 separate elements. Let's go take a look. The Carousel Bar is perfectly placed under the twinkling lights of the plaza's iconic dome. This outdoor bar occupies a 2,500 square foot space and offers seating for 100. Check out your view straight across to the Fremont Street experience. The bar is decked out with classic Vegas-themed elements, and as its name implies, the perimeter features real carousel horses in various colors. Out front, the construction crew was just unboxing this golden showgirl. Do I see neon tubes there? And for me, any grand opening party has to have a bright red popcorn cart. I absolutely love fresh pop popcorn. On the left corner is a brand new location for local Las Vegas phenomenon, Pinkbox Donuts. Pinkbox started life right here in 2012, making delicious special recipe donuts with a wow factor. Their efforts earned them Best of Las Vegas awards 4 years in a row and explosive growth. We just love that they carried their theme over to the walk signal out front. Who says a walk signal has to be dull? Over on the right side of the front facade is the Brian Christopher Slots area. The web's premier influencer for slots and casinos lends its name to a new 2,500 square foot space, and Brian himself has personally curated the 75 games inside. Plus, it's social media friendly. That means pics and videos welcome. And get this, my friends, it's smoke free. The last new feature is a climate-controlled patio for the infamous Oscar Steakhouse, located just above the new slots area. You might have seen our visit to Oscars in 2021, where we had what can only be called a VIP experience. We are very excited to experience this patio and the view from up there. Stepping inside for a moment, we love the nods to vintage Vegas in the lobby, this custom carpet design, and the mural. We are very happy to see the food court at capacity again. And hungry folks crowding the Hash House A-Go-Go. The Plaza's casino is 80,000 square feet, and in here we find the newest, hottest slots and gaming. Nothing nostalgic about this space, it's bright and modern. Since we stayed here, they've opened up the Sand Dollar downtown, a live music and craft cocktail venue right off the casino floor. We like the branding on this and knowing that they offer free local entertainment every single night. Now here's a quick nod to a really good pizza if you happen to be downtown. Pop Up Pizza. It's got the heart of a New York pizzeria, and everything is made fresh from scratch, including their secret dough recipe. We gave the food here a huge thumbs up.
All right, this is listed as the best pizza in Las Vegas. Pop-up pizza. Never had it before. I'm just going to take a little bite right now. And oh, that is really good. I mean it. Oh, that is really good.
Back out on Main Street, you have to admire all this frontage for the plaza. It goes on for a long way. Now here's a fun fact, they're not done yet. That building next door had been leased as the Greyhound bus station until just 2 years ago. Now, rumor has it, the plaza wants to redevelop the terminal into shops, restaurants, and entertainment. All I can say is, bring it on. Also worth a mention is downtown's first and only equestrian center, the Plaza's Core Arena. This is a really fine facility, and it's brought rodeo back to downtown Las Vegas.
75. Jared Hogan at 15, and then we'll drag.
All right, we got to move on. We have 2 more addresses to visit on this corner. At number 1 Fremont, we find the oldest and smallest hotel on the Fremont Street experience, the venerable Golden Gate. Back in 1906, the 2-story Hotel Nevada opened, the very first hotel structure in Las Vegas. In the 30s, when gambling was legalized, the hotel changed its name to Sal Segev, Las Vegas spelled backwards. And in fact, this neon relic behind the hotel's desk is from that era. Eventually, it was renamed after the famous Golden Gate Bridge, and there it has stayed. It has one of the coolest neon marquees in all of downtown. We love the nods along the Main Street side to the Golden Gate's importance in the town's history. There's more of that right inside. The Golden Gate is the first casino you come to as you step under the canopy. Since 2016, it has been owned by brothers Greg and Derek Stevens, and a few years ago, they doubled the size of the casino, replacing the old LVIO and an alley. This bar was also extended by about 20 feet. Before we go in, here's some interesting news about Vegas Vic, that beloved 40-foot cowboy hanging above the Pioneer Club since 1951. Last month, the old fella was cited by the city for, get this, breaking the law. Apparently, there's a rule that classic signs have to be lit up at night, and he was not. So Vic's owners are partnering with Yesco to get those neon lights working again. Let's go check out the Golden Gate Casino. It's not huge by Vegas standards, just over 12,000 square feet, but like its neighbor across Main, the slot floor features all the latest, brightest slot games. Towards the hotel lobby is the Prohibition Bar and the tables area. Throughout the casino are framed black and white photos of the biggest names in show business enjoying some downtime at the Golden Gate. Near the back doors is this row of classic slot machines. And a tiled wall mural depicting the good old days. We saw earlier the picture collage in the lobby and the historic neon from Golden Gate's many identities. There's also a display case with cool memorabilia from the early 1900s, including game ledgers, hotel registers, and from a little later on, a room key, hand towel, and an embroidered vest worn by a change attendant. I'll tell you what, there's some really great history right here. Last up on the corner where Las Vegas began is the new kid on the block, Circa Resort and Casino. Circa opened in late 2020, the first new downtown resort since way back in 1980. But it's standing on a lot of history. Shortly after that land auction in 1905, the Overland Hotel was built at number 2 Fremont and then rebuilt again after a fire. The hotel lasted well into the 1960s. Early on, the Las Vegas Club Casino moved in on the ground floor and over time completely replaced the Overland. It was all about sports and stood on this corner until Circa came along. Circa packs a lot into a fairly small footprint. Inside, we find yet another modern casino with gaming on 2 levels. We like this quote on the website. Rooted in the neon glow of the past, we celebrate living large in the now and keep our eyes wide open to the future. They also like throwing in a few whimsical touches like these murals leading to the restrooms. Lots of your favorite slots and plenty of classic table games as well. But it's hard to focus on those when this spectacular 3-story stadium-style sportsbook catches your eye. Circa Sports is the biggest in town, perhaps the biggest anywhere, with room for 1,000 sports fans. Those TV screens are made up of 78 million megapixels and cost a cool $20 million. Adjacent to the sportsbook is the studio for VSIN, the Vegas Stats and Information Network. This is one of 2 broadcast locations in town, the other is at the South Point. Thirsty? It's hard to pass up the longest indoor bar in Nevada, the Mega Bar. It's a whopping 165 feet long with over 50 seats, 46 TV screens, and 100 cold brews on tap. On the list of over-the-top attractions at Circa, Stadium Swim is already legendary. A rooftop pool deck measuring nearly 16,000 square feet. 6 pools heated year-round to 98 balmy degrees. Space for 4,000. And those 40-foot screens. Now, who's been to Stadium Swim? Leave a comment and let us know. And we'll end our little Fremont and Main corner tour with this venerable lady, Vegas Vicky, now happily kicking up her legs over Circa's lobby cocktail lounge. She was originally installed in 1980 over the Girls of Glitter Gulch Strip Club, but nowadays she has a new lease on life, refurbished and restored by the Stevens brothers.
All right, my friends, how did you like that little circle tour of Main and Fremont? I loved it.
There is so much history in that little corner, you can't even believe it.
We had such a ball. We have covered all 3 of those properties in earlier vlogs, of course, but this was really focused on the history of that corner, that intersection, and why it matters to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you know what? When I came here, there was no canopy. You used to drive your cars. In fact, the teenagers used to love to come up there on Friday and Saturday nights and drive up and down Fremont Street and yell at all the pretty girls. I mean, that's just what you did. It was so much fun down there doing that, and then they added the canopy, and now, of course, it's a major attraction.
It's different kind of fun now since the 1990s, and I'm sure many of you have enjoyed all the fun and excitement on the Fremont Street experience. But we were really interested in, of course, what the Plaza was doing. We are so jazzed by everything they've done and the big hoopla grand opening yesterday.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Me personally, I can't wait to go for a donut. I'll be honest.
What's that lady's name that does the Plaza, that invited
Lisa
us?
Melmed?
Lisa.
Yeah.
How come we don't get invited to these press things, huh?
Really? We'd love to come down
we'd
and
love
get
to come down.
the inside peeks.
Yeah.
Love the Plaza.
All right. Let me tell them a little story about the Amtrak. Amtrak used to come through Las Vegas. In fact, I think it came through until 1997.
Yeah, it did.
And here, if it wasn't for Amtrak, I couldn't have been here because I put all my worldly possessions. I'll tell you what, I had a box full of music, probably worth thousands and thousands of dollars. It had arrangements in it, all kinds of lead sheets and everything. I put that on Amtrak with my name on top of it. Dale McKenzie, musical entertainment, banjo player, and I stuck it on an Amtrak train. Nobody touched it. Not one thing got broken on that trip from to come here to Las Vegas on Amtrak.
And he picked it up where? At the Plaza, because Amtrak and the Plaza were connected.
Right, and back then, in that time, right next to the Plaza where the Amtrak was, there was an open parking lot, and it was never a lot of cars, but that's where you parked for Amtrak to go pick up your packages or whatever. And of course, Main Street Casino was on the other side. Interesting times back then. I'll tell you, I wish I was back in the 60s.
Well, we've talked so many times about the different eras in Vegas we wish we had lived through. For example, when we were researching this, I found this little plaque on the ground in front of the Golden Gate.
Cool. They
had the very first telephone set up in Las Vegas, and the number was one. It was 1907.
You do. One. Hello. So my question is, if that was the only phone, who was calling them?
Well, maybe somebody in San Francisco or New York or somebody that actually had a phone. Good question.
Yeah. I tell you, my mind's always working, Paula.
It was fun, though, looking at the Golden Gate, or what it started as the Hotel Nevada back there in '06. The rooms were 10 by 10. They cost $1 a night, and that was considered luxury accommodations.
And it was free parking, too.
Better than a tent, which is what they had before that.
But that was luxury accommodations for those people back then. I mean, my gosh, we took you down to the Ferguson Hotel and showed you some room rates that were back in the 1950s. Yeah. I mean, they were only $10 back then, right?
Yeah, what a bargain. You couldn't even get a soda pop for $10 in Las Vegas anymore.
All right, Paul, got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think the name Circa means? Where do you think that came from?
Well, it's a fun fact. Circa is actually an homage to the founders of this great town, this great gambling town. So let me shoot them off for you. Circa 1941, Jackie Gone. Circa 1951, Benny Binion.
Let me do one. 1966, Jay Sarno.
And 1969, Kirk Kerkorian. Almost lost it. So yeah, the name Circa is circa all of those famous years and famous men who brought, the gaming and resort world to Las Vegas.
All right, there you go. Some little bit information that you didn't know about, but now you do,
now
right?
You do.
All right, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else you want to tell these nice people, Miss Paul?
Paula's Las Vegas Kitchen. My new format is kicking off this Wednesday. I'm making a recipe by Bobby Flay. Come join me.
All right. Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time.
Bye,
bye, everybody.
you.